What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Well, I just put out a video on the big channel, and I said I should do a reaction to Jumpsuit Pablo, and I was like, nah, I don't want to have. Well, guess what, guys? I did it. We're gonna do it together right now, you and I. Don't worry about the little noises you hear in the background. It's Super Bowl Sunday. People are preparing just like you. So let's go ahead and get this thing started.
Brand new Danny Masterson prison update for you. Now, real quick, if you didn't catch the last update, I'm going to give you like a 1-minute recap. Danny was classified and analyzed at this initial prison. They looked at all his records and information and decided, hey, he should go to this prison to serve out the sentence he was given by the judge. What was that prison? Corcoran Prison in California. Now, I talked about what a notorious and just violent and deadly history this Corcoran prison yard has, including most recently, not long ago, an inmate beheading his cellmate. And that's not even the extent of what he actually did.
It kind of was long ago. But Corcoran State Prison it has various yards. It's not just one yard. There's several different yards. I don't know which yard he's going to, but you know, we'll get into it. As Pablo gets into it, we will get into it.
Did to the body. But anyways, I also talked about how there is a statewide lockdown in California of all jails and prisons because
jails weren't locked down. The prisons were locked down due to an incident that occurred at Ironwood State Prison here in California. And my understanding is everybody's up. I'm sure Ironwood's probably locked down, but I don't believe the rest of the state pens are locked down. Maybe there's a modified program, but I'm sure they did the threat assessment and they let everybody up. But as we get into the video, we're going to all understand that Jumpsuit Pablo is a very dramatic individual, and that's why he gets the views he gets. It draws you in. And I'm not trying to discredit anything that he says. I'm just enjoying it. And I think we're all going to enjoy it. Those of us from California are going to enjoy it. We're going to have fun. Those of you outside of California, maybe this is a little bit enlightening, but this is all just entertainment.
Because there was a riot, not at Corcoran prison yard, but at a jail. This is just how it works. A riot popped off, including 200 inmates and corrections officers. One of them got headbutted by a very powerful, influential inmate for, a certain reason. And long story short, a huge several hundred inmate riot popped off. And so the entire state of California, as far as penitentiaries and Department of Corrections, it's on lockdown. Now, when this lockdown is lifted, I mean, it is scheduled and set in stone already. There is an assassin already chosen to carry out a hit that a certain group of inmates have on Danny Masterson.
Let's soak that in. Bravo. Go ahead. Give Pablo all his. Bravo. Good job, Pablo. There is an assassin. And he hit him with the air quotes. He's not a real assassin to you? This shit's funny.
That was in my previous video.
Oh,
so just a quick recap.
Okay.
Who is this group? They're called the GBG, the Gay Boy Gangsters. Might sound a little funny, might give you a couple chuckles. You might be like, oh, what are you kidding? This is a joke, right? No, it's not. There are plenty of inmates who are homosexual who, just because they are doesn't mean that they're not tough and doesn't mean that they're not going to stand up, show some backbone, and get down and dirty if you try them, if you disrespect them, if you try to harm them.
And another thing too, because I was going to talk about this, and I'll just say it here. I don't think people outside of California appreciate the gang mentality. And when I say appreciate, I don't mean enjoy or, I don't think they have the awareness. Maybe that's a better term. I don't think people outside of California have the awareness of the gang mentality in California. When I tell you this is no cap. I'm not trying to be dramatic. There is a gang, barrio, hood, whatever you want to call it, in almost every city in California. Almost. At least every county, for sure. But almost every city. Why am I saying almost like I need to pronounce it like properly? Almost. That's how we say it, right? Almost. Anyways, in prison in California, there's a mentality of people group up. And the gay boy gangsters are not on the general population side. They're on a different side, but they are a group. And there's many groups. The GP has their groups. The SNY has their groups. That is the way California is. You know, and we have people out of state, out of California that are like, oh, California is all PC. The SNY yards in California are more dangerous than most GPs on any other state. And that's not to toot anybody's horn. Who gives a fuck about prison, right? But I'm just saying, I'm trying to get people to understand that's how ingrained gang mentality is in California.
And so these people have come together and formed their own pretty strong group, gang, organization, whatever you want to call it, to protect themselves from anybody who wants to do them any harm, disrespect them, and you know, whatnot.
Whatnot.
Yeah, they're a force out there in California, and they have a hit. Not only do they have a hit on Danny Masterson, they have chosen the assassin who's on the same yard, Corcoran prison yard, as Danny Masterson. And as soon as this lockdown is lifted and everyone's let back out of their cells, they're supposed to hit Danny Masterson. So now the update is this. I believe 4 days ago, bear with me here, I may have to periodically check my notes.
I'm still stuck on this whole assassin thing. I was going to say something, but yeah, I mean, I don't know where this information is coming from. Everybody's running with it. So, hey, let's enjoy the ride, right? But I'm sure those guys from that group, a lot of them, whatever, I'm sure they don't like everybody out here mentioning them involved with an assassin and a hit, because they will get jacked up in that yard. You know? Oh, well.
It's here as reference to this entire update. But 4 days ago, Danny was taken to a crisis bed within the facility. That means he is in the medical unit of Corcoran Prison Yard. It's called the CMS. And he's in that unit in a crisis bed. Why is he there? How did he even get there? Because he has threatened to himself. That's as much as I can say.
And for those of you that didn't see my video this morning or a little while ago on my big channel, I talked about that. I don't know who's in Danny Masterson's ear, but that was a very dangerous move for him to tell the cops that. Because if they decide to put him in EOP, the enhanced outpatient program within the CDC, he's going to be around dudes that are schizophrenic, paranoid, hearing voices, seeing voices. I don't know why I laugh every time I say that. But he's going to be around people who are bona fide killers, probably a lot of them convicted murderers, whatever. And on top of that, they're psychopaths. They're completely nuts. So whoever told him it would be a good idea to enter that program, chingo, good luck, man. You might want to fire that guy, Danny Masterson. But like I said in the other video, him doing that tells me he's not going to the PHU. If he went to the PHU, which is one section of one building in Corcoran Shoe, he would be the safest. This is the safest place for him. This move tells me he's not going there. And the fact that he would say he's suicidal would make it, I think, harder for him to get in there. Because I don't want to get into all that, but this was a dumb move. I think it was a dumb move.
Thanks, YouTube. But that's what he's threatened to do. He's threatened to do that. All right. So they have to. If you verbally express that to an officer, even if they feel like you're lying or you have ulterior motives, which we would assume Danny has, they have to do that to protect their own self. They got to bring you to somewhere specifically within that yard. It varies from state to state and prison system to prison system, but there's somewhere to bring these guys once they say and express that type of thing, where you're going to be evaluated and observed and analyzed, right? So that's what he's done. He's in a crisis bed. Now, the assumption here is that this was a dumb move by him, because we believe that he did this after hearing, listen, if you're on a prison yard and someone has a hit out on you, you're going to hear about it. I don't care how slick they are. Like, somebody's not going to be able to keep their mouth shut. Word's going to get out. He's probably heard that
where does that come from? You know how many dudes have been hit and never saw it coming? Never had an idea? California moves a little different, Pablo.
GBG has a hit out on him, and they're going to get him as soon as this lockdown is lifted. And so it's believed he kind of pulled this maneuver to remove himself from this general population dorm and get into this more controlled, observed, and, which translates to safer area for him to avoid anything happening, right? But this was kind of like, from an ex-con's perspective, right? This is kind of a dumb move, or at least, even if it's a smart move, it was done too soon, because you're doing this while you're still on lockdown, and they have to keep him there. Here's the rules for this. They have to keep them there under observation for 10 days. Now, if during this 10 days, they don't observe or see or hear or come up with any determination that you are legitimately crazy, you have severe mental health problems. I mean, you really, and we're talking like these doctors know, okay, let me tell you, these doctors know how to talk to an inmate and decipher, this is an inmate who, like,
come on, no, that's too much. Everybody knows it's not true. He did it out of fear. But I don't, again, Jumpsuit Pablo, I don't know if you understand that he has a cellmate. He more than likely had a cellmate. So even if, you're saying he did it too soon, he was on lockdown, I don't believe their yard's on lockdown anymore. And if it is, somebody in that cell, he might have got a bad feeling off of him. He might not have felt safe. I think you're forgetting that part. Out here, you're going to be celled up with somebody. It's not single cells.
Is doing this for a reason, and they're like very calculated in why they're trying to do this, and they're very much trying to pretend that they are. And then there's inmates who are actually like this. Kind of the same thing as like when you see people go to trial and they try to claim insanity. They murdered someone and they're like, oh, I'm insane. And it doesn't work. That's because the authorities, the experts who are in charge of like figuring that out, they know, they've done this 1,000 times. They know when someone's full of crap, and they know when someone's actually.
And here, let's just some food for thought. In court, you're right. The experts are going to be like, no, this dude, because there's a reason to say, no, he is suitable and he should be tried and convicted for whatever crime he did. Flip side of that, inside the CDC, the California Department of Corrections, I believe they get around $80,000 in their budget per inmate. $80,000, something around that. No other state even comes close to spending that much. But within the California Department of Corrections, they get about $80,000 per inmate in their budget for inmates who are on psych meds or receiving psychiatric treatment. I believe it's around $150,000 per inmate. They have to be budgeted. So I think we all know the CDC is not spending $80,000 on each inmate. They damn sure ain't spending $150,000 on each inmate. Where does that money go at the end of the day? I don't know. It goes somewhere though. So saying somebody should be in the triple CMS program, which is what he's going to try to get into, or the EOP program, more moolah, baby. More money.
Actually like that. I don't believe Danny's actually like that, and that's probably the determination that they're going to come up with. That's just my assumption and opinion, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe because of all this, he has decided, hey, you know what? I don't want to be here anymore. Like, be here, existing, you know? Maybe so. But it's assumed this is because he heard about this hit, right? So let's say they don't see anything there. I mean, he was already deemed, as my good friend JD DeLay, who always keeps me updated on this, and JD DeLay's already made a video on this, and as he pointed out to me, he was already deemed competent enough to stand trial, right? When he tried to be crazy, you know. And they said, nope, you're good. You can stand trial. You're fine. The fact that that's already happened, you know, I don't think it's very likely that they're going to be like, yeah, you're, you know, because what would happen if they did decide that is he wouldn't go back to the unit he was in. He wouldn't go back into that general population area, that SNY yard, that section, that portion of the Corcoran yard, because that entire yard is divided into several sections. And he would no longer be in danger.
That's not true.
Immediate danger.
That's not true. I'm going to have to end it. You see, I got people calling. There's things going on. Jumpsuit Pablo, I appreciate the work that he puts in, the effort that he puts in, but the lack of understanding of how California works. A lot of EOP dudes go to SNY yards. They share the same yard. So he's definitely not safe in the psych unit, or the psych yards, we'll call them, for you guys out of state. They're EOP yards. We call them EOP yards. It's an enhanced outpatient program yards, right? But they share the yards with SNYs. He's definitely not safe there. He's, I believe, put himself in more danger. But I digress. The assassin is probably still on him. I'm going to go ahead and end this one here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, hit the like, share the video with someone who you think would enjoy it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out.